Hello, and welcome back to my YouTube channel called The Life of Brian. I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing. I'm here on the recommendation of a client of mine, a coaching client, who recommended, you should start a YouTube channel. And I already have one. And a few friends recently who have mentioned YouTube would be a good place to post your content or talk about what you do. Also, one of my best friends, David Boland, is an avid YouTuber and a successful YouTuber, whatever that success means. But I'm very inspired by him. And a lot of his work talks about posting, removing the barrier between not doing something and doing something. And there's some towels here in my room. My room's not that clean. I'm sitting at my desk, but this is me in all my glory. And welcome back to the channel. I don't know when the last time I posted was, but this channel has existed for probably 10 years. Maybe I should start a new one. I don't know. But a lot has happened since I last posted a YouTube video. I've moved country. I've moved back. I've done my yoga teacher training. I've done my executive coaching training with the ICF. There it is. There's my Reiki master training, Reiki 1, 2, and master. There's a picture of a butterfly that my auntie and godmother drew. There's my yoga teacher training cert and some, how do I do this? And some yoga postures. This is a raven that was carved by a guy on the street on Commercial Avenue in Vancouver. And it's a Nootka design, which is a First Nations tribe in Canada. And the raven is a symbol of transformation. So that's what I help people do, is transform into their authentic selves, to shed all of the baggage that they've taken in this world or in previous lives, from previous generations, or from society, or from family, or from media, and shed all that so that they can be more their authentic selves. And that's what I do as a coach. And that's what I do for teams as a team facilitator, is help truth come into the room. So teams and people can live freer and with more joy and less suffering. Alleviating suffering is a big reason I do what I do. That language definitely comes from my yoga practice. I'm an Ashtanga yoga teacher trainer. I'm an Ashtanga yoga teacher and also a practitioner. And it feels a bit awkward saying that because I can't sit in cross-legged comfortably without a cushion for a long period of time. But yoga has done a lot for me in my life, and I wanted to deepen my practice by learning how to teach. And I've been teaching now this year, and I've been really enjoying it. So what's this channel about? Why should you watch? I have no idea. Maybe you shouldn't be watching. I don't know. But I feel like I have a lot to say about the world and about life. I see on this beer mat here, or this coffee mat, this little blue butterfly. And for me, blue butterflies have a lot of significance. They help remind me that I'm on my right path, whatever that path is. And my godmother, Michelle, I'll always send her a picture of a butterfly, especially blue one, if I see it. Because there's an amazing story about blue butterflies that comes from the Irish Celtic tradition. A story about butterflies. And I've told that story in a few different settings. Maybe I'll tell it here. So if you're ready for a story, get comfortable and have a listen. Just takes a few minutes. So this story is set a long, long time ago, when there was kings and queens and druids and wizards and magicians. Arguably, there still are all those things. There's definitely still kings or queens, which is kind of wild to me. But back when they were kings or queens and when they ruled with power in the island of Ireland, on the island of Ireland, which is not what it was called then, there was a young king who had a druid as a mentor from when he was a prince, from when he was very young. And this king looked up to this druid. And this druid was the wisest druid in the land. That's why he was the consort to the king. I hope that's the right word, consort. An advisor. And this druid was said to be so smart, such a logistician, such a debater and an orator and an articulator of wisdom. He could make things apparate from his language. He could make people feel with his language. And the druids and poets, the Fila, were very powerful and revered in Irish society on this island for many years. This could be the Melanesians or the Celts or the Tuatha De Danann. And this one druid, who was the advisor to this young king, was said to be so smart and so worldly. He traveled as far as Egypt and debated with the pharaohs. And he was so good at what he did, he could convince even the pharaohs and the magicians of Egypt, their spiritual people, their high people that they wrote in hieroglyphics. He could convince them that black was white and white was black. He was so smart, so clever with his words, that he was revered in many lands. And after coming back from these trips to Egypt, this one particular trip, he just felt so amazing about himself. And he said to the king, I've got it. I understand. Logic and reason is all there is. And we only believe what we can see and feel. So I want you to only believe what you can see. And I want you to tell your followers, the subjects of your kingdom, that to only believe what they can see. So the king, who had listened to this druid all his life since he was a young boy, gathered the kingdom together and told them to only believe in what they can see. And all their spells and wishes and prayers weren't needed because logic and reason ruled. And the druid felt amazing because the kingdom was flourishing and he felt really responsible for how the king ruled and what the king did with his kingdom and with his subjects. And one day the druid was going down to the sea to wash, as people did back then. And in the distance, a mist started to roll in, and a wind and dark clouds. And as it rolled in, as the druid was washing himself, he started to hear, and a voice started to come to him. And an apparition of a female water spirit came to him and, Druid, she said, what have you done? What have you done? And the druid, like washing himself, was just in awe. And he could hear the reproach in this water spirit's voice and in her demeanor. What have you done? What have you done? And the druid was so confused because he was so proud of himself and had been doing such a good job. He asked the spirit, what do you mean, what have I done? She was like, you've convinced the people to only believe in what they can see. You've convinced the people to only believe in what they can see. What have you done? And the druid was perplexed. Sure, isn't that the right thing to be doing? Sure, isn't that the right thing to be telling to the people and to the king? And the druid and the water spirit says, Druid, what about magic? What about love? What about the soul? What about all these things that the human mind can't understand? You have deprived all these things of these people. You have snatched it from them, unbeknownst to them. And in that moment, the druid's heart sank. A stone fell in his stomach. His heart rate started to increase. He realized what he had done. And the druid said, please, give me a chance to change this. Give me a chance to take it back. And the water spirit, for some reason, let him go. So the druid ran back to the castle, ran back to the king, soaking wet. He said, I'm sorry, I made a mistake. I've made a mistake. There's far more to life. There's far more. There's far more. I've deprived you of so much, young king. And the king looked at him like, well, what is this guy on? I can't go back on my word now. I'd look like a fool to all my whole kingdom. I can't. I've listened to you all my life. Why are you saying you're wrong now? You must be having a wobble. Are you on those mushrooms again? The druid's like, no. This spirit came to me. It told me the truth. And the king wouldn't listen. So the druid gathered all the people of the kingdom into a massive courtyard and had the king on the stage and said, please, king, tell these people there's more that the eye can see, that there's more the eye can see. And the king refused. The people were so confused. So the druid, in a moment of desperation, said, take this dagger and run it across my neck. And then you'll see that there's more than the eye can see. The people were shocked. The king was shocked. But the king saw something in the druid's eyes and thought, well, didn't think, just acted. He took the dagger, ran it across the throat of the druid. The druid fell to the floor, blood spattering everywhere as the life started to leave his body. And as the druid took his final breaths, the people were shocked. The king was shocked. Out of the wound flew a little white butterfly and flew around the body of the druid, flew around the king, and flew around the people in the courtyard. And since that day, the people on this island have believed that there's more than the eye can see. And whenever they see a white butterfly in general, but particularly a white butterfly, they're reminded of the mysteries of the universe that the human mind may never comprehend. And to remember to be humble in the face of the universe. Like we are humble in the face of the sea and its power, we need to remember to be humble in the face of the mysteries of the universe. And I told that story to two friends of mine hiking in Glendalough in County Wicklow, a friend from Canada and their Irish partner. And they both listened to the story like most people do when we all listen to stories and we are brought back to what it's like to be a child. And he looked back to me and he said, do you know, that's interesting. Did you know that it was illegal to kill white butterflies in Ireland up until the 1970s? Wow, I didn't know that. And I've told that story a few times. I've told it at a Shanachie event, which is an Irish storytelling event. I've told it to friends and family. I remember one guy reacted, that's it, that's the story. Sure, I've always known there was white butterflies were sacred. Sure, my wife could have told that story in 2 seconds. And it makes me think of where we've gone as a world and as a society and what we believe and what we hold important and what's important to remember. So that's the story of the little white butterfly. And that's a massive reason why butterflies are so significant to me. So thank you for listening to the story. Thank you for joining for this first video back on my channel after a very long time. I have absolutely no idea where this is going to go. But I know the things I'm passionate about are the deeper questions of life, what's meaningful to me in life, the people who I love, the activities that bring me joy, work that I believe in, meeting people of different cultures and backgrounds and understanding different ways of looking at life and spirituality and religion. I'm also really interested in people and how we can bring more of our genius into the world, bring more of our inner beauty and passion into the world, and live lives of passion and joy and creativity, and also contribute to the world, and also financially succeed, while also doing our best to avoid or reduce suffering in the world. And I've made lots of mistakes in my life. I've learned lots of things. I've done lots of trainings and will do many more. And this channel can be a repository of that journey. Or maybe this will be the only video ever. Who knows? Thanks for listening.